Hello everyone, welcome to another 1cc review commentary hybrid type video that I've been doing. Today I am playing and discussing Exceed, 3rd Jade Penetrate Black Package. Cue the Barry White music there. Yes, like I say in the tagline for this video, I like to view this game as sort of a metal version of Touhou, where it's definitely got a lot in common with the Touhou series as far as the gameplay and even the aesthetics, but it has this sort of gothic metal edge to it that I also really enjoy. And for those who've been tuning into my stream lately, you'll notice I've been playing a lot of music from an artist called Poppy. She has a new kind of new metal pop hybrid album going on that she released called I Disagree. And I feel like this game is the embodiment of that album. Unfortunately, I can't play clips of the album because, YouTube copyright and all that sort of thing. That's always what comes to my mind when I think about this game, and probably why I decided to review it and play it today, because it was brought to my mind listening to that album. So the first thing I want to comment on before we start getting into the more review, the proper part of the review or whatever this is that I'm very curious to hear some feedback from a specific demographic of my audience. And so if you are in this demographic, you must answer and reply because it is the law. And so I want to know, for the people who do not like Touhou, specifically because they do not like the moe, cutie, little girly-ish style of Touhou, does this game appeal to you anymore? Now, I know it's still got a little bit of the moe thing going on there, but like I said, it has a little bit of like a gothic metal edge, a little bit like Death Smiles maybe. Does that help at all? Does that kind of make the game style a little bit more palatable? For me, I like this style a lot more than the Touhou style, to be honest. I'm definitely much more into gothic and emo than I am into like cutesy moe stuff, so I was wondering if that's a similar vibe that my audience feels, or is that just me? So anyway, a little bit about Exceed 3rd Jade Penetrate Black Package, and the title must be said like that, is that this is actually a re-release of the original version, just Exceed 3rd Jade, no Black Package. I was looking around, I'm sure you can dig it up somewhere online, but I wasn't, having any luck. I just kept finding the Steam page for this. And from what I understand, reading through comments and stuff, it looks like this is just a general upgrade over that version anyway. And so I was looking to see, can you buy this version on itch.io or DL site, because as I'll talk about in a video coming up soonish, I'm trying to promote more alternatives to buying shmups than just Steam, just especially the ones that have a more generous, pay for the creators. Steam takes 30% and all that. But it looks like the only way to find this game is on Steam, so that's the version I have here, and the version I encourage you all to pick up is the Steam version. And so I probably should quickly explain the video format to you all, for the people who aren't familiar. So what you're seeing on the main screen, this is actually a 1cc clear of normal mode. There's no auto bomb on, just to give it a little bit more challenge. I probably should have played the game on hard mode if I really wanted to show it off. But the cool thing is you're in luck, because on my channel earlier this year, Cloudy Music did a hard mode 1cc in Shmup Slam 2 live demonstration. And so if you want to know a lot more about sort of the competitive side of this game, the scoring system, the little intricate, strategies and what it looks like in hard mode and stuff like that, check that video out. I'll link it. It was part of Shmup Slam 2, and this is actually kind of how I was introduced to this game, was through Shmup Slam 2 and Cloudy Music's run. So shout outs to him for doing that. And again, there's a lot of great information provided by KZ and Kiwi about the scoring and all that kind of stuff if you want to learn more about that. But anyway, so on the left side of the screen here is the first half of the run, and because I thought the first half of the run is less interesting than the second half, I just kind of made it small and put it in the gutter, as I like to call it. That's my new official designation for when you do shmup videos, the left and right, those are the gutters. That's what I call that. So that's over there in the gutter. And what you're seeing in the main screen is the second half of the run, which I think is much more interesting because the bullet patterns start picking up. And I was actually really proud of this playthrough. I played super well for the most part, and this is my first time actually playing this game this far into it. Before I've been playing hard mode, but I usually just been in the first 3 stages, so it was kind of fun to play this where I was genuinely reacting to what I am seeing for the first time here. So yeah, I think that might be a fun aspect of watching this video anyway, is it is possible to clear the game on the first try in normal mode. Speaking of normal mode, I should talk a little bit about the difficulty of this game, which I really like. So normal mode has that really nice balance of difficulty to where it is challenging, especially for people who are not as familiar with bullet hells. But if you are a bullet hell veteran, you'll find it just challenging enough to be fun, but you can cruise through it pretty solidly. And then in hard mode is where the game can get pretty ruthless. And there's actually a even higher difficulty mode called Exceed, which is basically like lunatic mode, but you have to unlock that by, I believe, 1 CCing hard mode or something along those lines. Another note I should make about this run is that I don't actually show stage 6, because apparently there is a stage 6 and a TLB in normal mode, but in order to unlock it, you have to 1cc normal mode first and then play a second round on normal mode, and then you'll unlock the stage 6. That's what I was reading. And since this is my first 1cc of the game on normal mode, I didn't end up getting stage 6. So, like I said, if you want really detailed information on the scoring system and all that sort of stuff, definitely check out that Shmup Slam 3 video. But I'll just go over the basics of kind of how the game feels and stuff. So you've got the Touhou cave patented slow down, speed up, focus shot mechanic, right? Where if you're holding rapid shot, you're moving full speed, but you're doing less damage. You hold down the main shot button, you're moving slower, but you're doing more damage. And also, the more important thing too is that your options here, you see those little dinosaur birds? Those are your options. They're homing, so this is she's kind of like Reimu, I guess. But if you Kiwi mentioned this too, you basically need to be in focus for them to do any significant damage. So you usually, if you're not fighting popcorn enemies and stuff, you're usually doing a lot of homing in this game. I feel like the hitboxes, the movement speed, all of that stuff is really well done. It feels really good. It carries, if you play a lot of cave, you play like Espgaluda and all those types of games. This also kind of reminds me of a little bit of Espgaluda, and I don't know why exactly. Maybe it's just the way it looks kind of reminds me of that. Maybe that's more of it. But yeah, if you're a fan of that game, I think you'll probably enjoy this. No bullet time mechanic or anything like that. Actually, so the extra sort of sauce mechanic of the game, right? Every shmup needs that little extra sauce usually. Is it has an Ikaruga style power attack, and it looks just like the attack from Ikaruga, and it kind of works similarly. So in Ikaruga, if you absorb, a lot of bullets of your own color, you'll end up building up that special attack meter, and then you unleash it, and it's like this homing, powerful blitz attack here. Well, that's what happens in this game, except the way you build it up is by grazing the bullets. So that's another reason why I like this game a lot, is I generally enjoy bullet grazing games a lot, and I think they help you improve at bullet hells in general, because they really push you to work on your micro dodging skills and your bullet tracking skills and stuff. And I do like it when they gets rewarded in a really satisfying way. That's one reason why I like Danmaku Unlimited 3 much, is because when you get those really, on the left side there, in the smaller, remember I did really well in this pattern. It's like the Mushihime-sama dragonflies in stage 4, I think it is. That's what that reminds me of. Anyway, so for the most part, this game's gameplay style is very Touhou-like, not only in, the way the bullets move, the bullet speeds, your movements, your shots, but also the stage layout is also very similar to Touhou, where you're mostly focusing on boss fights and larger enemies. But I think it does enough regular stage gameplay too, to feel a little bit more like a cave game than a lot of Touhou games do. So again, I think this is a nice sort of middle ground between a cave and a Touhou. I think that's the best way to sort of describe it. This pattern here is really fun. Took me a bit to catch on. I can't believe I dodged that right there. Yeah, I probably should have. So you're noticing there's no U. Oh, this is called the cat's eye, by the way. There's a pattern just like this in Danmaku Unlimited 3 that I call the cat's eye. Anyway, you'll notice that there doesn't seem to be a UI. That's actually not the game. It was... I went ahead and did the video editing. You'll see the cool, like, background in the gutter and stuff. You know, I got really excited with my new video editor to make it look nice. But I forgot to include the UI until I re-rendered the entire thing. And I was like, well... do I really need to include the UI on this run? It's not a scoring run, and you can find out the score at the end. It's a little bit of a surprise for you. And yeah, normally though I should have included the UI, but here's what a shmup looks like if you play it without UI. Yes, you'll notice a lot of these patterns are very... if you play Touhou, you'll recognize a lot of these sorts of styles of patterns and stuff, like the shadow bullets that fade into actual bullets and stuff like that. This pattern here is really fun. I generally do enjoy dodging patterns like this, where there's these big piles of smaller bullets sort of slowly working towards you, and you have to weave your way through them in a very controlled manner. This was a tricky one too, but I got it. I think there's a pattern like this in... I get my Touhou games mixed up a bit. Imperishable Night, I believe. There's a pattern a lot like this in Imperishable Night. This, by the way, earlier in the channel, I made a community post about Touhou Quest. Yes, Touhou Quest is still happening, and I feel like this is sort of like episode 0 of Touhou Quest Exceed, where I'm still playing with my arcade stick. It's still kind of a, you know, shmup more than a Touhou game, or whatever, like a non-Touhou bullet hell, but it's kind of on that journey, so you can consider this episode 0 of Touhou Quest. So yeah, here we go, the final boss fight. So you gotta love the graphics of this game. Very, very solid, I feel. One of the main reasons why I like it so much is I love the graphical style, presentation, and the gameplay is just really solid. I feel like this could be a nice kind of crossover game between the two communities, where Touhou players will enjoy it, Cave players will enjoy it. And if you don't like bullet hell games, I still encourage you to give it a try, because this, I think, is a very solid introductory bullet hell. And actually a game I think is just really great for learning shmups in general as well. It has a really solid practice mode. It has an autobomb setting. I turned autobomb off, but if you turn autobomb on, you can... I think it's useful to help learn to dodge patterns with a little bit of a safety net and stuff like that. And then the graze mechanic, like I said, I think grazing is a really good mechanic to help you learn how to control and move your character better. So yeah, I think this is a good contender too for a great introductory learn to get better at shmups game. So before I forget, I also want to mention that I believe this character I am playing is the only playable character, which is a little bit unusual. You know, Touhou games usually have at least 2 or 3 different characters, but you know, if they did that just to make it, you know, really focused and cut down on the balancing issues and stuff like that, I can respect that, you know. I don't think that's too big of a deal. I'm noticing more and more indie games are just kind of having one character, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Of course, having the variety is nice, but I don't think it's a big deal. So like I mentioned before, this is the last fight for me because I did not unlock stage 6. I wasn't aware that you had to beat the game on normal mode. Otherwise I would have and gotten it clear, because I think I'm still really juicy on resources right now. The trick on this pattern is you gotta know how to do really good unfocused movement, which I've gotten pretty good at over the years, especially playing CS, where you're always gonna having to focus and unfocus all the time because he's so slow, or whatever, the ship is so slow in focus mode. So that is it. There's Exceed, sort of condensed down for you, but it is the 1cc, normal mode, no auto bomb. A lot of fun to play. I'm definitely going to have to return in the future and go for the hard mode clear at the least. So yes, and before I go, there's one last thing I want to talk about, which is a new collaboration that I'm doing with Shmup Junkie. It's called Direct Inject. You'll see he had an announcement of it on his channel as well. So what this is a concept that I sort of talked to him about and we came to agree on, is that we want to start collaborating and helping some more crossover between our audiences. You know, he has the more classic shmup audience, and I have kind of the more bullet hell type shmup audience. And usually these types of audiences don't tend to overlap all that much with like community events and just interacting in general. So I thought this would be a great collaboration between the two of us to get, you know, our audiences to cross pollinate and our channels to cross pollinate. And so the way to work is that we're going to collaborate on videos and alternate between the channels. So the direct inject videos on my channel will be the ones that I sort of take the lead on, and he comes and is the guest and gives his input. And then the episodes on his channel are the ones that he takes the lead on, and I come and be the guest and give my input. And we'll alternate back and forth. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to this, not only for the crossover content that I think a lot of people will enjoy, but also to explore this model of YouTube collaboration, which I think is a really solid model that hopefully will be something that's more common in the future. So thanks everyone, and let me end by thanking my patrons. So thank you to Dingo, Andy Capt, Anthony A, Ben Win, Corio, Eric H, Full Set, Retro Schmupper, Hausu, Kiwi, JB Joe Angelo, Gameboy Guru, K, Malays, Mark Toms, Martin Worrell, Maz, Meher Kalendrian, Queen Charlene, Nathaniel Davis, and Electron, Okla Kugel, Smacky Factor, Segumo, Plasmo, and Utakaya. Thanks for watching.